And again, I can't thank you enough for being transparent, because we can start to self-doubt and self-harm when we get in these cycles of really feeling like, but I need this. And if I stop this, then the love that I have that caused me to start this in the first place, to be funny for people, to show up for people, to get out of my own way, then I'm hurting them. So it doesn't matter if I hurt myself. And it creates this agonizing spiral.
Yeah. Yeah. It can.
Yeah. So what advice or how do you support others when they come to you and say, hey, I see myself in your story. And I know I started this because I love the people around me. And I feel like if I don't do this, then I don't show up as the fun person or as the caring person. Is there advice that you often give or share?
Yeah, I try not to give advice. I wasn't able to hear much advice when I was at the bottom. Advice just kind of bounced off of me and I resented it, honestly. But I did listen to other people's experience, and that even if I didn't act on that, it planted a seed, that I could, call back to later. And, a lot of those seeds ended up growing inside of me and benefiting me. And, one of the things, I actually get more people coming to me who have an addict in their lives than people who are dealing with addiction. I do get a lot of people dealing with addiction, but most of the emails and DMs I receive are like, can you help my mom, daughter, wife, blah, blah, blah. I want them to get help the way you did. And that's just like the most heartbreaking, because I know there's nothing that anybody could have told me. If my love for my children wasn't enough to get me in there right away, then there was nothing that anybody else could say for me that would have been inspiring me to go get help. Because I thought I knew better and I thought they wouldn't understand. And this was something that, like I said, I wasn't willing to give up yet. And so my advice to people who have someone in their lives that's struggling with this is to just be prepared for when they are ready to help them. When they are ready, when they actually ask for help, be prepared to offer that help. There's a program called Al-Anon, which is like the companion program for Alcoholics Anonymous. That is a program just for people who are struggling with the addict or alcoholic in their life. And there are tools there that help people take care of themselves during this. It's not about taking care of the addict or the alcoholic, but taking care of yourself, because it's really easy to forget. Like you just said, it's easy to self-forsake when someone else is in trouble. You stop the self-care, or one might stop the self-care. And for the people that are dealing with their own addictions, I have this thing, I might have even told you when we talked earlier. It's another thing I say, that every room we're in is filled with music all the time. All the time. You just need a receiver to hear it, right? Like a radio, but it's always there. I happened to be tuned in one day and decided to act on that when I got the information through the universe that it was time for me to go. I'm sure that I'd gotten that message for years prior to that. But that day I was tuned in and I could hear it. And I don't know why that happened. I don't know why I was open to it. I don't know why my receiver worked that day when it didn't work other days, when I ignored the messages, when I couldn't hear the music, but I heard it that day and I made the call and got myself some help. And, it's more than just a matter of willingness. I think it's, because I was willing to do things, but I wouldn't take action. Willingness isn't theoretical, maybe. Maybe willingness is the action. And maybe you're considering it if you're not in action, but the willingness is the actual action.
That's so beautifully said. And I know that we had touched on that before too. And when you had mentioned, look, it is one of those things that until someone's ready, they're not going to be ready. And it is hard on those who are in the life of the addict because you want to make them ready and you can't make someone ready. And that is almost the addiction of the person who is in the life of the addict. At least that's how I felt when I was in the life of the addict. My addiction was in wanting to make them ready.
Yeah.
And so I would go to Al-Anon. I would go to other support groups and have to realize that I had to deal with my own addiction of enablement and find my way through, because I wasn't helping by constantly wanting to change things for someone else. So we have to find our own way. And the beautiful advice that you give, it's like the perspective to help understand that every person has their own path and their own journey. And it's not mine to change that. So thank you for being willing to do that.
Oh, well, and I really just, it's so good for you that you did that you took that step and got the help for yourself. It's so hard. A lot of people don't want to do that because it feels like, I'm already dealing with them. Now I have to go to something and so that I can take care of myself. It feels like punishment, I think, for people to have to go and join a support group to deal with another person in their lives or to help with another person in their lives. And it's not punishment, but it feels like that for a lot of people.
Yeah. And honestly, I can say on the other side of it, for me, it's a gift. And I don't know how you feel, but if we look at it like, hey, it's a way for me to get to know my own behaviors, my own patterns, my own opportunities for growth. So how we look at it is half of the journey, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100%.